This L Phoenix postcard comes from Paul, who says, "Hey guys, stay hungry. Come to Texas and eat some Tex-Mex. I also recommend the film Eating Raoul, which is a dark sex comedy. Kind of like the one we saw, but no comedy and no sex. From 1982. In the same vein, I'm sure you have seen My Dinner with Andre, which is great, but it is not a dark sex comedy. By the way, watch King Rat to see what people might eat." Great show. Paul from Garland, Texas.
Yeah!
When you go to our website, welcometothebasementshow.com, you can see our entire catalog of episodes. There is over 200 and way over 210. Let me just put it that way. And there are also PayPal donation buttons that you can click on, and you can make a one-time or rolling monthly donation to support this show. A rolling monthly donation, you pledge a little bit every month, and it happens every month. It's an easy thing to do, and I'm now going to salute a short list of some of our rolling monthly donors. JP, Bernard, Alfred, Lewis, Mary Beth, Shelby, Anna, RPC Services, Reed, Grant, Lindsay, Jerry, Jared, Jeff, Riley, Abraham, Sean, Stephen, Sherry, Kieran, Luke, Amber, Thomas, and Jed. The rest of our rolling monthly donors later in the show. And now, viewer questions.
Carlin Celatos writes, which type of horror do you consider scarier, supernatural or grounded in reality? My husband says supernatural because there's a helpless feeling when normal rules don't apply. I say realistic horror is scarier because it could actually happen to me.
What do you think?
I think a mixture of the two. One of the scariest movies, in my opinion, that I've ever seen is Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
I think I know what I know, that that's not real and it doesn't exist. But the realism of having found footage and having a camera and put it in a bedroom and the way that that film was shot felt very real.
And no matter how unrealistic a horror movie seems, we know what we know.
Yeah.
But the people in the movie, they also think they know what they know.
Yeah. They're like us.
So that's what scares me about truly scary horror movies, realistic or not. It's just that we don't know that this couldn't happen simply because it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
We don't have a lot of mail to open up this week, so I put a few extra questions on this list. I'm going to open them. I'm going to answer them right now. T.A. Epley, what is a juggalo? Would you like to answer this question?
A juggalo is a fan of the Insane Clown Posse.
And they gather
at the gathering of the juggalos.
Presumably once a year. Do they do this more than once a year? Is it like Record Store Day?
I don't think a person's system can handle a more than annual gathering of the juggalos.
All that sugar from that crazy soda that they drink.
Yeah, it's 3 liters. That's more. That's one more than most. So, yeah. I just saw a Facebook ad for some event, some Insane Clown Posse event, and I was shocked because I think it said something like, celebrate our 30th anniversary of the Insane Clown Posse.
That is shocking.
Yeah, I think it was 30. It was a long time.
Maybe after all this time they finally figured out magnets.
Maybe. Yeah, it really befuddled them for a bit.
I have to ask you this question. Ryan Holland.
Yeah.
Any tips for getting kids to sit through an entire movie? Or do you just kind of roll with it and watch things in fits and starts?
I have 2 kids. One of them is 10, and he will sit and watch a movie. My daughter has ADHD. And she cannot sit and watch a movie. So, as a parent, as a guy who loves to sit and watch movies, there's some part of that is disappointing to me. But we have found some movies that she will sit and watch. And sometimes she'll sit and watch them 100 times.
Right.
Which ain't all that bad, because one of her favorite movies that she sat and wanted to watch 100 times was Singing in the Rain.
Okay. And finally, BAP Ribbon in the Sky says, which girl would you choose to have a movie scene with? Jane Mansfield or Jessica Rabbit? I would choose a living Jane Mansfield, mainly because Jessica Rabbit is not a real life human. And acting next to CGI, I imagine, is a very pain in the ass process, and so I wouldn't want to go through that. Instead, I'd like to do a scene with Jane Mansfield where I'd stare at her chest the whole time. Okay, I'm not going to answer that question.
I would shoot a film with the deceased corpse of James Mansfield.
I like it. There he is. Yeah. Oh, this is peak Spader. Spader crouching near toilet.
Interior, daytime. I would have wiped my neck first and my face first, Armpits last. Come on, Spader. Nice house. Do you mind if I fill it with cigarette smoke?
I'm sorry, we don't let people smoke in the house, but if you'd like to, we could
No.
go
I can quit.
outside.
No, I didn't. I thought you were cool. Just forget about it.
Graham.
Like the Teddy.
My mother is a complete Anglophile. Anything British.
Anything acute or obtuse. She's an Anglophile as well. You never get that deep a wine pour at a restaurant.
My therapist.
You're in therapy?
Aren't you?
No, why would I be in therapy? My penis doesn't work. I don't have any other problems.
I'm not a weirdo like some people.
Yeah.
The friend of John's that was staying at your house.
Oh. Graham.
He's impotent.
I was expecting him to be just like John.
Hard all the time.
Talking about getting drunk together and secret handshakes and...
Bowling.
Macrame, college stuff.
Submarines.
The interviews are about sex.
Baby, and therefore only me.
Everything about sex.
Like what?
What they've done, what they do.
All the conjugations.
Started moving my hand and then he stopped talking.
And started screaming.
Feed the children in Ethiopia.
He's wearing a dish towel athwart his loins. When we do get packages in the P.O. box, they tend to sometimes be records, and when they are, I listen to them. And so I have a couple that I want to talk about today. First of all, we've got Pedro the Lion. This is called... what? Havasu? Is it really called Havasu? Havasu. There it is, right there. And it looks like it was recorded in the COVID era, as you can see. There.
Or he's a doctor. Maybe he's a doctor.
Maybe he's a doctor. Maybe he's the rock and roll doctor. This is very good music. It reminded me of The National, just because the lead singer has kind of a deep voice, and his voice is weird. I can see how it might be off-putting to certain people, because it sounds like it's slowed down. Like it kind of sounds like this. It got a little bit of that quality. But the music is intriguing and at times relaxing and at times enervating.
Oh.
That's
good.
What do you think about that?
Enervating.
Enervating. And next up we have Churches. Love is Dead. Churches, spelled with a V, pronounced churches. I know that much. Are you familiar with this band?
I know that name. And I've seen that spelling of that band name. But I have not listened to Churches.
It is a female singer. She's got a nice voice. There's lots of synthy music on here. It kind of at times reminds me of synth music from the synth era of music, which would be like the mid-late 80s.
Yeah.
It recalls that without being imitative of that. I have another Churches album that was sent to the P.O. Box upstairs. I haven't listened to that one yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Churches. Churches.
Not churches. And the E's, just 3 lines. So...
Jason is now going to tell us the rest of our monthly rolling donors for this week.
Catherine, Harrison, Marissa, Larissa, B.A. Mikey D, Chris, Laura, Brett, Kai, Dave, Martin, Caitlin, Beth, Clyde, Guide, Mauricio, Enar, Jason, and Cella, or Sella.
All right, well, that's the show. I wish we had some packages to open, but we don't have any. Maybe we'll get some next week. If you are wanting to put something in a box and send it to us, if you want to write us a postcard, we want to hear from you. What are you going to go do now?
Go home, Matt.
Okay. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. I had a good time. This was my first time on Welcome to the Basement.
Yes. Did you had a nice time?
We watched a movie. It's called Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
It's true. You can watch that on this very channel.
Go and watch that. What are you going to do?
I'm not going to your house.
No. That'd be weird because this is your house.
Yeah. And how would I get home?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll play a little Skyrim when I get home.
Maybe you'll play a little movie quiz when you get home.
With who?
The Mirror.
Ha ha!